Broads Media.
What is going on, everyone? Joel Embiid's ridiculous. Tyrese Maxey's ridiculous. That win was ridiculously solid, and I can't wait to talk about it. What was your favorite part of the game? Comment down below. I can't wait to see what you thought about this one. If you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button as well. And also, if you're looking to buy tickets to go support the Sixers or any NBA team out there, if you're going to any NHL games, NFL games, use promo code BROADS at SeatGeek's checkout. $20 off. $20 off. You're eliminating all the fees right from the jump, so don't even worry about those fees that you hate getting hit with. Promo code BROADS, SeatGeek's checkout, and lastly, TikTok, at Broads Media. Toss a follow there. And with that being said, enjoy the show. What is going on, everyone? Now, that was fun basketball. That was probably the most entertained I've been watching a Sixers basketball game this season, and I had a huge smile on my face afterwards. It was beauty. Joel Embiid, ridiculous. Tyrese Maxey stepping up, and I love everything that happened post-game. If you remember, just a game ago, Tyrese and Joel were laughing at one another, right? And they were laughing at the fact that Tyrese Maxey was airballing shots, and he had such a pathetic day at the office. And then Joel, after this outing, looks at him and goes, that's how you respond to the criticism. He came up in crucial moments at the back end of the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, the ball swinging around, whether it's a Matisse Thybulle offensive rebound that can't be forgotten. He went up and grabbed that shit. He was flying in the middle of the air, grabbed it, and then kicked it out to the three-point line. Or Joel Embiid just doing Joel Embiid things, realizing pressure's coming, kicking it out to his teammates making open shots. Yes, that is the name of the game. Joel was so damn ruthless out there. He had the chase down block when James Harden thought he had an easy two, and this 7-2 man, this 7-2 gentleman is running down the floor like he's Jason Kelsey, making big blocks downfield to open up gaps for Miles Sanders. That's exactly what it reminded me of. I had to watch that play on the loop like 10,000 times. The fact that this 7'2" man is doing this stuff doesn't make any sense. And that's why I'm so in awe every time, one, I watch him, and every time, two, there's morons out there who believe the best thing for this franchise is to get rid of this talent. I was on The Fanatic filling in for the John Kincaid show this week early in the morning, and then I had one night sprinkled in of filling in for Devon Givens, and I got calls saying this team needs to get rid of him. You'll never win with the center. What are you doing? How dumb can you be? How stupid are you? Where are your brain cells? I just have to do the good old hang up. The hell are you talking about? How do you not see this? It all starts with him. 34 points. He had the step-back jumper at the end of the first half, which did go off the glass. But to be fair, we know that he has that in his repertoire. He was passing it out of pressure. His first quarter was ridiculous. How about the fact, this is my favorite, when he's running the floor and then in rhythm, all in one motion, he collects and gathers the basketball and shoots a smooth J over a defender that's challenging him. But they have no shot in hell of actually blocking it or doing any damage defensively because Joel's all wet from that spot on the floor, hitting threes as well. I mean, come on now. Come on now. And I did see this reaction because the last we spoke, we talked about Doc Rivers and Keith Pompey. And I absolutely despised everything that Doc Rivers did in that moment. But the question was fair. Doc, you won a game in Toronto, but as of late, you've been really struggling to put away teams. This was a win. Previously, they were losses, so I get it. A win is a win, and you will win ugly over an 82-game sample size. That's inevitable. But the statement stays true that this team, against squads that were plucking guys off the street, were playing very pathetic. They were not bringing their compete level. They were not prepared and determined to play. And you even said that, Doc, because in one of your post-game pressers, you even stated, we're overlooking our opponent. Well, that's a problem, Doc. And we're trying to figure out why the Sixers are overlooking their opponents. So it's not a ridiculous question to ask, even when you win, because it still can be true that you squeaked away with one and you did find a way to win. Yes, that is the quote that you could throw out there, that standard cliche. They found a way, but they're still not determined from the jump to compete at a high enough level, even with your roster limitations throughout that week and a half. Jimmy Butler-less Miami Heat team without Bam as well. The Atlanta Hawks, right? We've been through it before. So I bring that up to you because it plays a role in how I feel about the outcome of this game. I saw this reaction on Twitter. Oh, I guess it wasn't crazy to just think a win is a win. Oh, I guess now that they won this game, that Toronto game doesn't really mean anything, huh? No, it means something. No, there's validity to how we felt prior to this game, and it's the fact that when they are ready to rock, when they are ready to play, when they do head on the court with the right mentality, they're significantly better than what they have recently shown. Because they just banged with the best of them. And they just went out there and put pure heart and passion on the floor. And whether they would have won or lost this game, just the fact that they were hanging in there with such a special team with special talent, like that tells me, because Doc Rivers doesn't care about context. It doesn't matter to him. You could play like shit and win the game, and he's got a big smile on his face, and he's moving on to the next one. Where to me, it's about the process of the result. So why did you get the result that you did? Yeah, we won, but if we continue to do this, if we continue to play that way, that result won't be there more times than not. If you play the same way you played in Toronto, you lose more than you win. So if they would have lost this game against Brooklyn, but they played a certain way, if you play that way more times than not, you will beat the teams on the other side. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it does matter how it looks. It does matter the context, and it does matter what's happening out there. You can't just pretend the result is the only thing, because then you're being fooled. You need all the data. You need all the information. And what I witnessed was a team with the proper approach. Now, I think there's many factors to that. One, you see who you're playing up against, and you want a shot at them. Kevin Durant is one of the best scorers in the league. Then you tag him together with a James Harden, and you know that the intensity just rises when there's superstar talent on the other side, and that's just human nature. Whether you want to admit it or not, that's part of it, where you know the competition on the other side is amazing. Well, then you just have that inside of you. You got to find a way, though, as professional athletes to make sure that you bring that level no matter who's playing on the other side, and that goes to the coach to make sure they're not just going through the motions. And I feel part of Doc Rivers and his message is exactly that. Just go through the motions. Now, last night, he wasn't available due to COVID protocols. You did see some different things with Dan Burke out there, and a one-game sample size is not enough for me, personally, to start throwing shade here over at Doc Rivers. Like, Dan Burke, Doc Rivers, were there differences? Sure, no doubt about it. The all-bench lineups, right? You didn't see that being the same exact thing, so you definitely saw different concepts with Dan Burke. And keep in mind, right, when you quote no all-bench lineups, we're talking about a Tobias Harris still who, quite frankly, sucks. I mean, I have no idea how he fell to this level of embarrassment, but he's been absolutely vomit-worthy, vomit trash, horrendous. And before you start commenting down below in the comments or screaming at your radio, Broads, he's always been this way. No, he hasn't. No, he is not. We have reached a whole new level of he has no idea what he's doing out there, and he's just lowering his shoulder and trying to attack the rim, but he's doing it so horrendously that I'm thinking, what are you doing? I mean, this is terrible. Now, with that all being said, he did have one take to the basket in the fourth quarter that I'm going, no. Yes! Honestly, He took it hard to the rack. He got it to about a half-inch from the bucket and basically laid it and placed it in. But, I mean, he's horrible. And another name is Matisse Thybulle, who's like a fringe starter, right? So when you say no all-bench lineups, just keep in mind, Matisse Thybulle is kind of a iffy yes and no when you talk about starting. He's a role-playing starter, if you will, and Tobias Harris just flat-out sucks. But, you know, I do feel that that definitely played a role considering what Doc Rivers likes to do as he just, quote, goes through the motions. But all around, right, like that's the reaction too is, oh, well, Dan Burke coached this game, so clearly he's way better. And maybe there's a correlation with how much fun you had watching this game and Dan Burke opening up the door a little bit with some newness and whatnot. But, I mean, a one-game sample size, like I said, is just not enough. There's so many reasons why I think the Sixers raised their bar, and it stems from just who they were playing is the big number one. Joel Embiid being locked in, and then the team from there kind of followed his footsteps as the leader, and Tyrese Maxey was crazy. As a whole, the team really played a big role. Andre Drummond had some big run, second quarter in that first half. He was definitely exploding. The only bad thing he did was try and make a behind-the-back pass. That was pretty tough and pretty awkward. Might be on the not SportsCenter top 10 or SportsCenter's not top 10, whatever the hell it's called. Other than that, you know, alley-oop, did make some few nice passes out there, but he was definitely a spark plug along with George Niang. And I think what we're seeing here is the team is coming back together. They're getting healthier. They're getting run. Their bench is stabilizing a little bit more. Niang is a big part of that. When you get back Drummond, you get back Shake Milton, you're just filling out your roster again to who was supposed to be there from the jump, even through Mr. 2-5 playing the game that he wants to play as he continues to get fined by the Sixers. And, you know, there's all these reports right now about how it seems the Sixers might be getting this thing done by the trade deadline. There's so much drama surrounding this, and you're going to hear a billion different reports each week, week in and week out, heading into the trade deadline. So, you know, I'm not going to try and bite on anything until it seems way more intense because, you know, at this point it still is just the waiting game. Sure, Jaylen Brown, SGA, Damian Lillard, whatever names you want to throw around there that are being reported that the Sixers are interested in. Yeah, that's no new news to me. That's pretty damn basic. That's what we've been discussing for the last however many months. So just the fact that people are optimistic it might get done this year, well, nothing really changed from my perspective. It's possible. It's also possible that it goes into next offseason. It's also possible that it takes a longer time than that. The whole line of window here, the whole window or the whole timeline, I didn't change my expectations based off of what I saw. I thought it was very possible he could get traded at the deadline. I also think it's very possible it goes into next offseason. We just don't know, and we'll have to wait to find out when Daryl Morey does do that. But what this showed me was, you know, when this team comes prepared to play, they can really play. Now, it's different when you're talking about 7-game sample sizes. I'm not telling you that this team is a world beater by any means, so do not take this and run with it to an extreme. All I'm saying is there was discussion on this team's an 8th seed, this team's a 6th seed, this team sucks, this team's a 500 team. They're not. There were a lot of issues on why this team was playing about 500 ball through 30 games of the season, losing Joel, losing Tobias, losing Seth Curry, losing Danny Green, going on the West Coast swing after an 8-2 start and falling apart a bit because you didn't have your players available. That played a massive role, right? Like there's so many reasons why they were, and this shows me that which is just bothering me, but it's reality of the situation. You look at some of the Bulls wins early on. You look at the Atlanta Hawks win early on when there was still some juice involved with that and there were still players playing the damn game. You look at this win. You look at what they did against Golden State. I'm telling you, when they go on that basketball floor and they know they have to bring it, they actually look pretty damn solid. And they do some really great things out there. The alternative is when they just think they're going to walk through their opponent and they don't need to play the best basketball that they need to play. They're not that good, right? I mean, they're not at the level where they can just walk over teams, close their eyes, take the basketball, and go win 50 games, right? This isn't like the Golden State Warriors of X amount of years ago where they knew no matter who they were playing, no matter what city they were in, let's just tip that bad boy off, and guess what? There's like a 75% chance we're going to win regardless of our effort level. It just, and I don't want to like take shots at them. They worked. That was something that they did very well too. Is they took it. They took those wins and took it seriously. You know, for what an NBA regular season could be. When they took it the most seriously, they weren't able actually to complete the job that season because there was a gentleman named LeBron James who stepped into their way. But you get my point. They were locked in. And it ain't a Joel thing. It ain't, well, the leadership in Joel's the problem because he's bringing it every night. 30 plus. And I think it's comical at this point that if he has a 30-point performance, you don't think that that's good enough. 30 and 12? That's okay. It's okay. 30 is now okay. 28's definitely looked at as, I've seen better. So please, remember that when he goes 11 of 23 from the floor with 34 points. And when he established his low post presence, which apparently to people he doesn't do enough, I actually heard a caller make this statement after his previous outing, which he dropped 36 points. I want him to score 30 under the basket all game. I don't want to see him taking jump shots anymore. So let me get this straight. What makes him so unique is that as a 7'2" man, he can actually pull defenders out, and you need to guard him out by the perimeter. So he's actually more versatile than just standing there, and all you want him to do is stand there. You want to make someone who can do 10 things only do one thing. He scores 36 doing 7 different things. You'd rather him score 30, which is less points, by doing one thing. It's amazing how dumb that really is, and it's pathetic that there are people out there that would rather see the skill set of this basketball player diminish. I want to see less talent. That's basically what these people who say, I've been watching basketball for the last 60 years, and when these big men play, I want them down low. Well, do you watch? Do you watch? Because if you don't think Joel Embiid is down low, well then you are uneducated. When you think about how much he posts up compared to how much everybody else posts up around the league, it's night and day. He posts up the most in the NBA. So please, let's be educated. I don't think it's that difficult to understand how awesome Joel is, and it's because of the fact that he can make threes. He can make mid-range jumpers. He can work from the free throw line extended. He can face up and jab step you. He can post you up and annihilate you with the body size. People actually wanted to trade him. It's just so damn funny. It's so damn funny. It's Joel's team. And then he's got to get help from the players around him. Seth did have a major bucket late in that game. That was huge. Huge. But obviously, Tyrese Maxey was the secondary man. And James Harden, after the game, had some big words to say about him. And look, when you're going up against a player, I think you get a little bit of a taste of exactly what he brings to the table. But Tyrese Maxey, man, I'll tell you what, it is so encouraging to see someone who's willing to take that step after failing the night before. And I know I kind of had some fun with it when Joel Embiid mentioned that after the game, right? Like taking shots at Ben Simmons, basically, whether he intentionally did it or subconsciously did it. It absolutely 1,000% happened. And Tyrese Maxey just goes out there. Those jump shots, when he was in the corner wide open, those were pure. They really were. I mean, they looked so smooth and so ridiculously confident. It's amazing. And the reasons why those shots were happening like that, as I mentioned, Matisse Thybulle had a big O board. But when you start to bring the looks towards Joel Embiid the way that you do, it opens up a lot for your teammates. Then it's the secondary scoring that really needs to step up. And he was nothing but all cash there late. And it's so fun to see those two grow. Let's keep in mind, there was reasonable dialogue about the fact that these two players weren't able to find themselves together as a tandem. And that was going to have to change. Now, I still want to see more at times, but it's clear that their relationship on and off the court is growing. And I think that's a magnificent thing. The other night, it was very simple and very bland, but I thought it was important to note that after a big play where Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid are moving the ball very well underneath the rim, which got an open look for two, and the Sixers ran down the floor the other way, there was a genuine excitement level and happiness involved where they couldn't stop dapping each other back or dapping each other up when they were running back on the floor to play some defense. And I just thought that really stood out to me. Like, we know that they're trying to incorporate something new and something fresh to get them out there together and knowing that both players are a highly skilled tandem, like what can we do? And the fact that that started happening, it's like, okay, you could see that they're genuinely excited about this. Let's see them grow together as a unit. And then you kind of witness that play as well. Correlation between Dan Burke and this. Maybe we'll have to see. You know, I'm not very big on Doc Rivers. Quite frankly, I'm down on Doc Rivers. So at this point, and I'm not screaming for his job, right? I want to make that clear, even though I'm telling you I'm not the highest in the world. When I get upset about what he did, it's not like I'm sitting there saying, you got to fire. I'm not firing a coach every single year. Get rid of Brett, get rid of Brett, get rid of Brett. Now it's get rid of Doc, get rid of Doc, get rid of Doc. Then it's get rid of the next guy, get rid of the next guy, get rid of the next guy. I don't know if Doc Rivers is the guy. I will admit, I think the name doesn't bring the same amount of actual not potential, but the name pops more than the production. You're getting a name more than you are getting production. By the end of this thing, am I going to tell you I feel great about the Doc Rivers thing working out? Probably not. But I will say, like, I don't know. Maybe there is a correlation with what we saw with Dan Burke out there. And I'd be more willing to kind of find out, but their next game is not until Monday. So with Doc Rivers and the COVID protocols, obviously there's a lot that has to go down for that to kind of be a discussion. What else is a discussion is rebounds. Rebounds, rebounds, rebounds. This team has a major problem with rebounds, and there's a lot of reasons why, right? From the surface, you imagine that, well, you have Joel Embiid and you have Andre Drummond. In what universe should you be lacking there? I think that that's fair, but also keep in mind that this offense was dictated about Ben Simmons and his ability to push the pace and play with a high-intensity motor going up and down and seriously being someone who puts the opponent on their heels because he's flying around so fast. And with that said, he would grab the boards and go. Grab boards and go. I also thought that Tobias Harris in years past would stand out a little bit more in that department as well. And I don't know if he's so down and he's so depleted and he's so lost mentally that that's also playing a factor in what we're witnessing out there. He's so lost. I mean, emotionally, you could just tell with his body language as well. Not that he was ever a pure fiery guy or someone that played with a billion times of emotion, but what he did bring was just professionalism. Like, that's what he played with, that, like, just a professional game. Like, his body language screamed professional out there. I'm not telling you he played to a LeBron James, Kevin Durant level. That's not what I'm saying. Maybe professionalism won't resonate well with you because it is an interesting word to use, but when I say it, it makes sense to me. Now, he's sort of more in that, instead of professionalism, he's more of that U16 AAU, I haven't shot the ball well in about 6 weeks, and I want to pout on the bench, and I'm depleted, and everybody can basically tell that I'm in my feels about my game. And I'm not telling you that it's wrong to be upset about where you are, but you got to find a way out of it because no one's feeling sorry for you, and it's on you as you're getting paid a lot of money to be an athlete here to work at your craft to make sure that this doesn't continue longer. But it does, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. By now, I would have thought something different would occur, but we're sitting in the same exact spot with him, and it's very damaging. I mean, it's amazing what would change if just himself got better. It's so obnoxiously different because it changes everything. It changes spacing. It changes defense because teams have to actually respect them. Teams don't respect him. There was actually a play with Matisse Thybulle. He did a double, wide open from three, did a hesitation double clutch, and then elected to take the wide open three, and it was a brick. And not only was there nobody in his face, but then when they realized who it was, they gave him even more time. Oh, that's Matisse? I'm not even going to waste my effort on giving him a chance. Or excuse me, I'm not even going to waste my effort and give myself a chance to block the shot. I don't care enough because he ain't making it. Now, he did make some impactful plays that don't necessarily scream as much as points. I mentioned the O board now 3 times. I think that actually sounds about right considering how much of a crucial moment that was and how much of a swing that was from the Sixers going on a run in that fourth quarter. But, you know, defensively made people earn it. There's only so much you can do when you're playing Kevin Durant, when you're playing some of these studs. But based off of who they are and maximum effort, you got to go out there and make sure that they leave everything out there on their tank. And then hopefully they run out on E in that 45, 46-minute mark of the game. And, you know, you can only do so much, but I thought just from what he could do, yeah, He was out there being a pest for sure. Joel Embiid's ankle, that looked scary. Anytime he goes to the ground and starts holding things, then he limps off to the bench. No bueno. Please, I don't want to see anything like that. No. Because this guy's playing back to MVP form. That's what this is right now. I always talk about how hard it is to duplicate a season. When you think of Bryce Harper as the example, Bryce Harper back in 2015 or so won MVP, and then he had good seasons in between this most recent MVP season. So I bring that up to you because it's so hard to demand, unless you're a LeBron or a KD, like you need to play that way and give me 36 points every night. It's just not realistic. It's extremely difficult to do. That's why these players we speak about, they're in rare form, right? So, just naturally I go, I expect Joel to be a dominant player again. Can he be that same player every single year, year in and year out? Maybe he can. I'm not saying he can. I'm just saying it's so damn hard to do it. And he has so far followed up that after the return to COVID and getting back his lungs and getting back his pace of play. He's been right on the money, performing the same exact way, if not even better at times. Or maybe I'm just biased because this is now the moment, and it's been a whole year and a whole season since the last time I witnessed it. But yeah, it's incredible what he does. It's also incredible what DeSimone Jewelers does. DeSimone Jewelers, they are my jeweler. I got my fiance's engagement ring from them, and I continue to go back, whether it's birthday gifts, holidays, Valentine's Day, just being a great human being. I'll stop out on a random Tuesday and get her something nice. They're a family-owned business located in Haddonfield, New Jersey, previously in Jewelers Row. Will, Lou, Nick, and Mike, they will take care of you. They work with you to get the best design at the most reasonable price you will find in the market. They provide custom jewelry design, jewelry repairs, appraisals, diamond settings, so much more. And if you tell them that Brode sent you, they'll hook you up. I had some people reach out to me in my DMs on social media, and they said, Brodes, I went, and it was the greatest. You're not kidding. They really educated me about what I was buying, and it honestly helped me feel more connected to what I was purchasing for my significant other, and that's exactly what it's all about. When I look at my fiance's engagement ring on her every single damn day when she's nonstop looking at it with a big smile on her face, I think about like the process of purchasing that and what I went through, and there's a connection between it. And every time we see Mike DeSimone, because he helped us out big time, she just gives him a big fat hug. You're the best. You're the best. Look at this thing. And you'd be doing the same damn thing. DeSimoneJewelers.com is their website. Make sure you tell them that Brode sent you. All right, we had a bunch of text messages for the Anytime Hotline for this show, and we also had some calls as well. So we're going to do like a little combination of both, if you will. Let's start off here with the call and hear from you out there after this big win. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, bros? This your boy T from South Philly. Yeah, the problem was it was Doc Rivers, I guess, huh? Because Dan Burke had them boys out there balling. And this is my first time seeing Maxey put up nice little points and Embiid put up some good points. And I'm going to end it off with saying Tobias Harris made me lose $250 because he couldn't get 10 points. That's crazy, man. But, yeah, we looked kind of good today, and we want to never beat the Nets with Doc Rivers coaching. All right, bros.
Well, see, I don't know if that's necessarily true, right? I think that that's very emotional, very knee-jerk reaction, if you will. I mean, they have had wins this season with Doc Rivers on the sidelines that we walked away and went, that was impressive, right? So, I mean, I can't say that. I'm not going to go against maybe the difference in the bench lineups playing a role just with the flow of the team and all. Who knows? I've also seen many moments where we go back and after the game and go, wow, that bench lineup really impacted this game. Andre Drummond with Shake Milton and Furkan Korkmaz, right? Maybe not Korkmaz as of late, but a Shake Milton-Andre Drummond duo really stepped up. Or Andre Drummond on himself really helped out this team and pushed them for a surge. Matisse Thybulle's defense impacted their run that they had to start the fourth quarter before the starters came back in. So I think that there's validity to just noting there was it. But here's another thing that happens. How much is changing, right? Like, you're going to step in there and change your entire philosophy as a team because your coach is on COVID protocols? Like, not really. Things did go down. And I think there's also like the backup goalie theory. When you know that you're playing shorthanded, when you know that happens, and you know Dan Burke is on the sidelines, you saw the reaction of the locker room on Twitter where they're dumping water on his head and they're soaking him and they're jumping up and down because they're genuinely happy for the guy. Like, that plays a role in why I think when you study the way that they came out and played, their competition was higher. They were excited for Dan Burke to get a chance to coach on the sidelines there for them. Not that they want the situation to be what it was, but, you know, you realize Dan Burke's on the sidelines. He's excited to be there. Not happy for the circumstances once again, but the team gets a little bit of an adrenaline rush. It's the spark plug. It's the role player, you know, getting a bigger role and performing. So, you know, I think that there's many reasons why this is. I can't fully just say, well, if Doc's there, you lose. Because if Joel and Tyrese Maxey, if they do the same exact thing with Doc Rivers standing on the sidelines, they win this basketball game. In terms of Tobias, I can't help you out with that money situation. It's pretty outrageous, though, to think that someone getting paid as much money as Tobias Harris is, he can't even get you a decent showing anymore consistently. 4 of 14. He's missing so many shots an inch away from the basket. I put my hands up at this point. I don't have anything for you. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Deep, 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 deep down. Is this what you're getting for the rest of the Tobias Harris contract? I'm telling you no 1,000 times. No, this is not what you're going to get. He's lost, though. And it's crazy because the one coach to seem to figure out him best and worked with his craft the best and got him using his skill set the best, making quick decisions instead of trying to work down low and break down defenders on a one-on-one matchup, it was Doc Rivers. So the fact that he can't do it anymore, what's going on? And I'm looking at the player more than anybody else. It seems right now he's just in attack mode. Let me go, 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 go. Let me get to the free throw line. Let me see the ball go through the hoop. Let me get as close as possible to the rim because that, in theory, gives me the best percentage to make shots so he can try and get himself going a bit, like self-motivation, seeing the ball go through the hoop. All right, let me go downhill. But I'll tell you what, when he's attacking, it looks out of control. Bouncing around the rim 7 times and then falls to the left. Somebody cleans up the garbage and kicks it out. And speaking of cleaning up the garbage, just that phrase made me think of Mark Zumoff, even though that's not it. It's turning garbage into gold, but saying the word garbage made me think of him. I swear to God, when he was watching Tyrese Maxey shoot the basketball from distance, he definitely was sitting on his couch going, "Maxey for 3! Yes!" by himself. And his wife's probably like, "Mark, come on. You don't have to do that every time." As if that's the only thing he ever does. When they're in the store and they're going shopping. "Reese's Puffs for 3! Yes!" He just gets to look from the wife. He can't do anything ever except for speak in broadcasting voice. I don't know where I'm going here. All right, let's read a couple messages here. Here's a text message on the Anytime Hotline. Let's go Sixers. Embiid was big time, getting anything he wanted offensively, and I love how he handled the double team, making great passes. He wasn't as aggressive rebounding tonight, and he was hesitant to challenge shots at the rim, but that was his only negatives. And Maxey, Curry, and Niang were awesome. It's great to see Embiid get some help tonight and to see us close out a game properly. The post-up drop step and one in the clutch was perfect. Toby was trash tonight, but I love seeing Maxey take more shots than him, get up 18 shots while playing with Embiid. That's what stands out to me the most is both of these players getting some good run and being able to kind of, to the best of their ability that we've seen this year, play their game. So there's definitely more that you can tap into, which is the scary part. You know Maxey's still young, and there's going to be some ups and downs, but just know that one, when he has a poor performance, he's not afraid of the next one, and he puts it behind him. It's just like a cornerback. Okay, I got beat. That's fine. What's next type of mentality. He wasn't shying away from the moment. Big end of the third quarter with a couple threes that bled into the fourth quarter. I can't stop our guy Niang, though. I can't stop talking about him because he even said it in the not the press conference, but just after the game interview the other night, saying like, look, they brought me here to take some threes, and I'm just going to start pulling them. So it gets an offensive board, runs right back to the three-point line, takes a shot, fires, and makes it. That's what he's here to do, and he's just a solid role player, just a solid role player. Knows his job and help solidify that bench. And it was a good team effort. But the two in Maxey and Joel, yeah, it starts with them. So let's see if these shots and these totals and this execution can live for a little bit of time here as a team. And then here's another one. Broads, why isn't this team... Wait, why isn't this the team? Okay. Broads, why isn't this the team we can see more often? They have the capability to play better than they showed against all of those teams like the Atlanta Hawks who were shorthanded. I love the show. Mike from West Philly. Well, that's been one of the reasons why I was upset. Like, that's one of the reasons why I had the outrage and I had the feelings that I did when I saw everything play out against Toronto. Because what we were getting... Take result aside, because I don't think that matters every single time. I think it matters. Obviously, winning matters. Obviously, winning matters. But if I see a team consistently play a certain way, I know that translates to winning basketball. I know what happened in Toronto doesn't necessarily translate to winning basketball majority of the time. And that is what we saw over a big stretch. So that's why I was disappointed in the information that I saw of the context of the game. This style play, this works. And they got to dig deep internally to figure out how this can be what they play like majority of the time. Because if they do, you're going to start seeing not a championship caliber team, but a fun team. A fun team. And right now, with their circumstances and with pretty much where we're at in general as a society, I'll take some entertainment right now, please. With that being said, I will talk to you guys next time. What a great win for the Sixers. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.